the common enemy, a topic that a lot of people like to talk about. And that is the one thing stopping your audience from getting results. So let's take a look in detail of at what the common enemy is and how we can have a common enemy in your messaging. So the common enemy is the thing stopping your audience from achieving the results they want. And it is easier to sprinkle information about it throughout your content than to create a full piece of content about it. You don't have to have a single common enemy, but all the common enemies you have, they need to make sense in your narrative. You can't just blame everybody else. Why does a common enemy exist? Number one, because it makes life make more sense. Okay, it just makes things make more sense. And number two, nobody likes to say that it's their fault that things aren't working. Okay, I take ownership. It's my fault. I understand. But do I like to hear that it's my fault all the time? I want to understand where else could things be going wrong that I'm listening to that maybe it's impacting me. So for us to lift a little bit of the weight from your content and give your audience motivation to change, we want to start showing the external factors that could be keeping them stuck. So for example, your audience doesn't need to see your tips. People keep hearing that they need to share tips, share tips, share tips. Well, your audience doesn't necessarily need to see your tips. And then I explain the whole process of what tips mean, how it keeps people stuck, etc., and how to share educational content in an appropriate way. Tips are the common enemy. So, what could be your common enemy? The hustle culture, the algorithm, restrictive diets, society. It could be anything you want. What I would just say is to just be very careful uh, to, first of all, fit in your narrative and be repeated consistently. And be very careful to not blame gurus, gurus. Because number one, and I used to hear this back when I worked at like a big company that was at the top of their game. Everybody else was worse than they were, or they were better than everyone else. And they always said, if you're the best, you don't talk bad about the rest. You can talk about topics that are happening in the industry, trends, bad things, but you don't talk about other people that are your competitors. And you don't talk shit about them. Even if you say, Instagram gurus, fitness gurus, what ends up happening one day or another, one way or another, is that at some point you're going to become the guru as well. And then you're not going to like it. So don't feed the guru narrative if you don't want to be labeled a guru. But what I leave you with today is, what is one common enemy that you can create today? What is one thing that is stopping them from getting to where they want to go? You can use these as an idea, but you've seen this type of content around, and you can start sprinkling in your content some things like, for example, and I know that the algorithm makes it hard for you to ta da da, or nowadays society is designed to not support parents. So it's so easy to sprinkle that in your content, and it's going to come really naturally. But the common enemy needs to be well thought, and when it's well thought, you as an expert, you're going to understand how it plays a role into making their lives worse. Okay?